Fam, what do we got next here? Wikileaks.
So WikiLeaks released more evidence that the facts were misrepresented in the OPCW regarding Syrian chemical attacks in Duma. So Katie Johnstone, again, she's been kicking ass.
Yes.
And taking names.
These are her wheelhouse
and
right here.
She broke it down very, very easily, just with some highlights that I'm going to read because it's a lot of information if you just go through the WikiLeaks. So I'm going to just kind of go over some of the highlights she said. She said, today WikiLeaks releases more documents showing internal disagreement within OPCW about how facts were misrepresented in a redacted version of a report, which alleged the chemical attacks in Duma, Syria in April of 2018. And she said the aforementioned memo states that around 20 inspectors have expressed concerns over the final FFM report, which they did not feel reflected the views of the team members that deployed to Duma. A member of this team was suspended from its post and escorted from the OPCW building in a very undignified manner. And she quotes him, after more than 12 years, I believe, serving the OPCW with dedication and professionalism, Ian Henderson's personal and professional integrities have taken a knock in the most public fora, the internet.
Ian Henderson.
She said a falsehood issued by the OPCW that Ian did not take part in the Duma FFM team has been pivotal in discrediting him and his work. So she kind of talks about that. And then she says, the denial is partially untrue. Ian Henderson was part of the FFM, and there was an abundance of official documentation as well as other supporting proof that testifies to that. Henderson was a ballistics expert who said Duma scene didn't evidence an air attack, i.e. Assad. Yeah. And he said, we are not insisting on being right in our assertions, but we are demanding to be heard. However, we have been stonewalled throughout by obfuscation, exclusion, and even thuggish and bullying behavior. And she references this memo referenced by the Daily Mail article saying 20 different OPCW's inspectors have expressed concern about the way the report was developed in March 2018 after the OPCW's final report from Duma was published. Basically, they completely blocked his research.
Ian Henderson,
They completely excluded his research. And let's see. The FFM report was written almost exclusively by investigators who never actually went to Duma. The ones who did were excluded. So they basically took him out, excluded his report, and basically they acted like he didn't even work there.
Yeah.
And this is all in an effort to say that the chemical attacks were real when more and more evidence, not just from WikiLeaks, but from even before, talks about how not only was there no evidence, but that it likely didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
I mean, well, this is the third time something like this has happened.
Yeah.
I went through this whole shenanigans with the first time when it came to the Turkish parliament and whatnot, and we figured out that it wasn't, Assad who did this. And Ian Henderson, I remembered that name because when I was reading this stuff the other night, that's a real whistleblower. That's a real hero right here who's coming out and putting his life on the line. And we talked about all these groups, these OPCWs, these OASs, all these just freaking lobbyist kind of groups for the military-industrial complex, and that's where it all comes from, so we can justify and manufacture sense for the attacks. The whole thing about this whole situation, and the reason why I haven't been diving too much into it, is because no matter what happens, the United States is going to say, oh, we just got the wrong information.
Right.
That's why we did that. We'll look out better next time. It's already said. It's already done. If they can do this to Iraq, where they go, oh, we got the wrong information, and we still have people on the left rehabilitating the George Bush clan, the W. Bush clan, for everything he did, then none of this shit's going to matter whatsoever. Because on this attack, the response for this particular attack, the chemical attack, where Ian Henderson went, did experiments, saw that it was not dropped, that it was stuff placed on the ground, that it really didn't have a serious effect. Probably the white helmets were involved. We don't have those links, but they were probably involved because they seem to just show up out of the blue when it comes to these situations. But this whole situation right here was a reason why we were able to bomb the airstrip and do what we got to do. Now, a lot of people weren't killed during that bombing, fam. Remember, that was right around my birthday one year. But guess how much money it cost? That justifies the fucking defense bill that all these Democrats just endorsed and just signed up to do. Shit like this. It keeps the machine rolling. So when I see this, now the third attack, the third time, Assad's a brutal dictator. He gasses his own people. Well, here's the third time now disproving. I lose hope, and I don't pay attention to it as much because
it's not saying that Assad hasn't done anything and then he's an innocent little lamb, but this isn't this. There's no evidence. And so to recap, Ian Henderson is an OPCW inspector who went to Duma, ran the experiments, and concluded that the cylinders alleged to have been dropped by Assad helicopters were rather manually placed, i.e. staged.
Yep.
An OPCW official actively had his report purged from the registry. So they are literally hiding.
Sorry,
I
got ahead of us there.
The truth.
No,
No, this
I was reading this stuff the other day, and I was like, "Oh my Lord!" Again, here we go.
It's entirely true, fam.
All right. Well, that's the OPCW. That's Caitlin Johnson. Thank you very much.